Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our videos about muscle. In this video, we will be talking about isotonic versus isometric contraction. Okay, so I want to tell you about two different types of contractions that muscles can undergo, isotonic and isometric. So isotonic contraction is a contraction that moves a load and the muscle changes length during that contraction. So if you look at this example, you can see that the muscle is relaxed right here. As the muscle contracts, it shortens in length and it also moves this 20-kilogram weight, okay? So we get an isotonic contraction generally when the force that is created by the muscle contraction, the muscle tension, is enough to overcome the weight of whatever load we are trying to move, okay? In an isometric contraction, on the other hand, we don't move a load. So the muscle contracts without moving a load, okay? If we look at the word roots here, iso means same, metric means length. So the muscle stays the same length during the contraction. So here's an example of an isometric contraction. We are starting at this length. The muscle contracts, but that contraction is not enough to move this 30-kilogram weight. So it stays the same length. So that's an isometric contraction. Now, you might be thinking, well, didn't we learn that the sarcomeres shorten during a muscle contraction? How can the muscle stay the same length if the sarcomeres are shortening? Doesn't that conflict? Don't those two statements conflict with each other? The answer lies in the series elastic elements. So if we look at a muscle, we will see that it consists of both contractile components, which are the sarcomeres, and elastic components, which are basically the other stuff that's connected, that's like part of the muscle. So tendon, connective tissue, that's in and around the muscle fibers. So what happens when we contract a muscle isometrically is that we contract our sarcomeres, but our elastic components stretch, thereby maintaining the same length overall in the muscle, okay? If we take a look at this example, we can kind of see that action in action. So starting here, we're going to start with a muscle at rest, just to orient you a little bit. This is the entire muscle, and this is the length of the muscle. You can see that these little red guys are sarcomeres. The blue indicates the series elastic elements, okay? When we start to contract, if we're trying to lift a load, when we start to contract, what's going to happen at first is the initial amount of force that we are generating is not going to be enough to lift that load. So what's going to happen is that the sarcomeres will contract and the elastic elements will stretch. And overall, you can see if you compare 1 and 2, that the overall length of the muscle remains the same, okay? Once we generate enough force to lift that load, or to move whatever weight, whatever thing that we want to move, such as our bones, okay? What's going to happen is that the entire muscle is going to shorten. So we're going to get more contraction of the sarcomeres, and the series elastic elements will remain stretched, okay? So the main point here is that we do have muscle contractions both during this phase and this phase, but the muscle only shortens at this last step where we're generating enough force to lift that load, okay?